Hi, everyone. Coach Mo Faul here with Motivational Monday. I am joined by Coach Extraordinaire, client, friend, and all-around kick-ass woman, Milijana Demori, live from Split, Croatia. Hello, Milijana. How are you today?
Hello, Mo. Hello, everybody. I'm awesome, and I'm so happy to be part of Motivational Monday.
Yay. So today we're talking about what your pain is costing you. And we're going to talk about pain, Miliana, something that we both know a little bit about. And I got to tell you, I was brought into a greater awareness of pain over the last couple of days because I broke my foot. And as you and I know from a coaching, energetic, metaphysical perspective, there's something there for me to pay attention to. And we're going to talk about how that happens also. But the majority of what I want us to spend time talking about for all of the lovely people in our audience out there who are in pain is really the fact that pain is not necessary. And it comes at a very, very high cost. We're going to talk about the cost of pain. We're going to talk about the reframing and the elimination of suffering, let's call it. We're going to talk about eliminating suffering. We're going to talk about why people do suffer. And we're going to figure out this whole thing and come up with some great conclusions so that the folks listening, we got Donna today. Hello, Donna, Michelle, Pearl. How you ladies doing today? So we're talking about pain. And Miliana, before we get any further, I want you just to give our folks a little bio on you. I know all about you. I know you so well that I hardly even remember that people don't know you. Miliana and I met 3.5 years ago on a clarity call. Believe it or not, Miliana reached out. She was not going in the direction of her dreams. She had actually just suffered some pain, and we'll talk about that because that's why I invited you here today, because our relationship started on a basis of your pain. And over those 3.5 years, you have come into the fullest expression of the most highest, beautiful, powerful self. You're now a world-class coach. You coach women with eating disorders for a good friend of mine. Shout out to Lydia. And you coach for me. So you help women up-level their careers and find their power. And you've become quite a powerful, beautiful woman yourself. It wasn't necessarily so when we first met. You want to let everyone know what those conditions were, speaking of pain.
Yeah. So, 2016, I was the strongest woman in Croatia because I was a champion in 3 different sports: kickboxing, powerlifting, and Olympic weightlifting. And I was a coach since 2010. But I thought that would be too fluffy and out there, and being an athlete and having properties and business would be like the real thing. So I stayed with what was socially acceptable rather than what truly, truly made me happy. And my biggest dream, and I've seen it so many times, carries the biggest fear because it's basically us saying this is who I am. So I had to injure my spine. Actually, a disc in my spine broke in a international competition where my ego took over, and it was like literally a millimeter technical mistake, and it was excruciating pain for months. And because I couldn't be a professional athlete anymore, I came to a place of like, oh, identity crisis. Who am I? I was the strongest chick in the gym. I was stronger than guys.
Yeah.
I had better squats and deadlifts and bench press than most men, and now I couldn't do anything. Like I was just in excruciating pain. Like I was limping, and so that was like it was like one of the most physically painful moments in my life, which made me realize that I have not been reaching my fullest potential, my soul potential, where I always wanted to truly be a coach, like a full-time coach. But I didn't feel authentically strong in every area of my life. Like some worldly, educational stuff, but there were other areas of my life where I didn't feel authentic. Therefore, I didn't go out there, and I didn't have, honestly, now I can say, I didn't have the courage to say, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find a coach who is a successful coach to teach me how to be a successful coach, to be comfortable in standing in my value. So I think like a lot of women, I thought I had to do everything for free, but then I would be depleted. So physical, emotional pain led me to, reaching out. And I found you on the website when you wrote your article, How to Bring Your Soul to Work. And just the title was How to Bring Your Soul to Work, because I was always drawn to spirituality. But that was like, well, how can you add spirituality in career?
Right.
And you can, and you did it.
How can you blend spirituality and career? I don't know. Maybe we should figure that out. Let me ask you this, Milijana. The pain that you had in your spinal column due to the crack brought you to a new place of accepting help and support, whereas prior to that, you were in the identity of I can do it myself.
Actually, in fact, when I did the Kick Ass course, this is the notebook I bought myself for the Kick Ass course.
If you want a thing well done, do it yourself.
That's my notebook from 3 years ago for the Kick Ass course.
It starts with the checklist in there. I love it. I saw the checklist.
So you can that was my mind frame. Therefore, I literally carried a lot on my back, which my spine symbolically broke. Mm-hmm. It turned into a gift. It turned into a gift. Big. I was telling people, like, back in the day, I would lift heavy weights and then drop it down, and now I'm actually uplifting people.
I don't think I weigh as much as the weights you used to lift, but I weigh more than I should. But still, yes, you are a lifter of souls now. You're still pretty much of a badass in the gym, because I've seen some clips from you. You're still rocking it in the gym. And meanwhile, I remember about a year after we started working together, you went back for an MRI to kind of check on the spine, and it was 100% healed.
Yes, the doctors were surprised. There was like almost like comical, where they just like looked at my MRI. I'm like, huh? I'm like, what? Huh? I'm like, oh, it's healed. Like, what do you mean it's healed? I had now I can say it openly, but back in the day, no one knew about my injury. It was my private thing and my private journey. And I did the physical work, the mental and the spiritual work to get into healing, and I accepted help. I sought it out because I knew I couldn't do it myself. And then they were surprised, like, oh, it was you were lucky. And they said I could, if I continue lifting, I could lose my leg. It would press. It was serious.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the back injury is nothing to be taken lightly. Now, I recently broke my foot, so I know that right now part of my journey is to sit my butt down. Sit my butt down and put my feet up. However, I still got a lot to do, and we together have a lot of souls to lift. We have, I think, about 90 active ladies right now in our workshop who are relying on us and 3 other beautiful coaches that we work with. Just a reminder to those folks who are listening in, if you aren't a client of mine, you might want to consider alleviating your pain in the same way that Milijana did. And that's with a clarity call. And you can book that at mofaul.com/FB, for short for Facebook. That way we know you came from the Facebook Live here today. So we've got a bunch of ladies here, Milijana, joining us who are clients, and quite a few of them. Yeah. And so here's what I'd like to share with folks who are listening in today about pain. First of all, pain is a signal. Pain is a signal that something has to be paid attention to. And if pain gets to a point where we have to physically alter our routine in order to deal with it, we've got a big problem. Like, I've got a big problem with my left foot being broken. And it just so happened to kind of like snap while I was out for my morning walk. Like, it just snapped. You said your back injury happened because you made a tiny little miscalculation in a lift. And so what happens often is that the pain that we have in an acute setting is there to give us a little jolt and to get our attention. A lot of pain that people have, however, is chronic. It's something that they're putting up with for a long time because the stories and the conditioning are all about that's how life is supposed to be. And especially when it comes to work. A lot of people think that they're supposed to be in pain for work. Oh, well, it's work. That's why they call it that, because it's like hard and you have to it's difficult, etc. There's so many women we know now, Milijana, who now are jumping up and going to work because they've brought their soul's energy up and they found their true power. If you're listening to this, I want to give you a prescription for understanding pain and suffering. Pain and suffering happens when our expectations are different than what's currently going on. So if we change one of those two variables, either the expectation or the meaning we have about what's going on, we can eliminate a lot of our pain and suffering. Now, if we have physical pain, we have to kind of like do what the doctor says to kind of heal the body. And of course, doing the things that we teach and coach in our workshop, healing the body happens much more rapidly when we take care of our energy body. And when we pay attention and listen. And so I've had some very profound aha moments with my broken foot. You had amazing, profound aha moments when you were dealing with your broken spine and not being supported and not feeling supported. And we worked through a lot of that in the time that we've been working together. And you've made brilliant advancements in showing up as the real you versus being afraid of your worth, versus being afraid. You didn't say these words earlier, Milijana, but often new coaches, even with the training, even with some expertise, are feeling like someone's going to call them a fraud.
Yeah, a lot of coaches have it. A lot of women have that imposter syndrome.
Yes, yes. Talk about the pain associated with wanting something and not being able to get it, and how we create this pain habit or suffering habit. Suffering is probably a better word. Let's talk about the pain of suffering when we don't have what we want. Can you elaborate on why that happens a little bit more?
Absolutely. So pain will happen. Like birth is pain, death is pain, breaking your spine or your back is pain. Suffering is not a must. So I look at pain now very differently, and it's almost like a motivation and a sign that, oh, there's much more out there. I'm not reaching my full potential. My soul is giving me a kick in the ass. And so pain is just telling me that there's the deepest part of me, in the heart of my heart. I know that there's something out there, and actually we know what we want, whether it's getting that raise, writing that book, making that phone call, having that difficult conversation. But we're not doing it. That's why there's a pain.
Right.
Because we're not acting on what we know is right.
Yes.
And
we're out of alignment, basically. We're out of alignment with our true self. Our inner being is saying, hey, we want to be doing this. We want to be being this. And this is what's going on. And the inner being is saying, that's not good. That's not right. That's not who we are. What's going on? We're off kilter. Just like with a broken foot or a broken spine in the physical realm, energetically, when we're off kilter, we're in suffer mode. And the suffering is there to get our attention. Like, hey, pay attention. Something's not right here.
Yes. And what's underneath suffering is something that is globally, like a global virus, and that is victimhood.
Yes.
We would not suffer unless there was some level of not taking full responsibility. Now, we don't have to take responsibility for what was in the past, who did what to us. But we can right now take responsibility for what we want to do with our now and how we want it to be in the future. We teach people how they treat us. We teach people how they can communicate with us. And then we feel suffering because, we can't speak up. There is no coincidence that there's so much thyroid issues with women around the globe.
Right.
It never was like that. We want to speak up. We know our truth. And because we're so afraid, there's just no energy flow. We're not talking, we're not telling our truth. We're afraid if we say our truth that we will be rejected, that we might not be liked, that we'll get fired, that we get lost. And so there's no coincidence why we have this physical pain, physical suffering, emotional pain, emotional suffering. It's just a side effect of you can choose to up level.
Yes. And there's a strong correlation with women who have thyroid disorders and breast cancer. Scientifically, super high correlation. And we could make all sorts of assumptions on that. The bottom line is we all know that most diseases are preempted and prompted into its manifestation through energetic pain. I'm not speaking up for myself. I'm not being all me. I'm rejecting my feminine self, being in a man's world. I'm feeling isolated, not heard, not recognized. Or, as so many women we work with, Milijana, they have to overpower their masculine energy and shut down their feminine energy in order to feel like they can deal with the work world. And nothing could be further than the truth, but it feels like that's what one is supposed to do. It feels like I need to be more pushy, more dominant, and shut down the feminine creative aspects of me, the nurturing aspects of me, because that's not rewarded in the workplace. And what I love so much is that we really help women balance those two pieces of yin and yang, because we're all the best men out there are both masculine and feminine, the best females out there. And when I say best, successful, free, happy, thriving. When we have both of those energies flowing strongly, we can truly be all that we have and all that we are. And then we're in alignment, and then things get easy for us. Decisions about hiring and firing and next jobs and interviews and charging for being a coach and saying that you are a coach and knowing that you solved your own eating disorder. So of course I can be an eating disorders coach, certified in a variety of different techniques that help people with eating disorders. You know my work and you've up-leveled your career. So of course you can coach women who have the desire to up-level their careers. And you're super talented in a lot of ways. If someone sees you in the gym, they see masculine energy. They see the strength and the power. If someone gets coached by you, they see this very feminine, nurturing, caring, spiritually aware woman. Both parts have integrated into the whole version of you. And so you're no longer in pain because you're no longer out of congruency. You're in assimilation. And this to me is the most beautiful thing about watching our clients also heal from lots of different types of pain. Lots of different pain and lots of scars on their soul body, on their energy body, and we bring them into alignment with who they are in their full power. Look, transformation isn't easy, but it's so doable. What was the number one thing that you, as an emerging being, finding your true full self, what was the number one thing that you felt you integrated to kind of get this going for yourself?
I started showing up for myself.
Yeah.
I started showing up when things were hard, when things were easy. I embraced the community that we have, the group. I had my own expertise, and at the same time, I was very open to being coached and to being guided. I believe in people's results and physical pain very different. You start looking at physical pain like a sign that, you know what, this is just a sign that my soul wants more. Mo.
I'm back. I don't know what happened. My camera just stopped. It went berserk.
And so I wasn't sure if I was live or if you were live. So I just spoke with the ladies.
Yes, we're fine. No, it's good. I don't know. My camera just died on me. So I went to camera B.
Awesome. So I was just continuing with, like you said, like what I had to do is what we see so much with our ladies is they keep showing up at the group coaching calls.
Yes.
And they say yes to themselves and reframing. And what I love, the preciousness of the work that we do, we show them how to get out of suffering, that show them how to get to the next step and the next step. And just like the powerful support that we have from coaches that are expert at resume and LinkedIn, the brilliant Bonnie, and then we have Coach Amy, Coach Jean, you, and I mean, what a team.
Yes.
And the wonderful Taylor and Krista in the background, and then our enrollment coaches, Michelle and Maddie.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And here's what's truly going on in every human being's life. We are put in situations, and the universe is unfolding in front of us in order for us to learn and expand. And there's a lot of different theories and a lot of different words for this. Some people call it, well, the universe tests you. I don't love that. What I like to see is that there is opportunity for us to work through the scars, the challenges, the things that have come our way that have perhaps dimmed us or pushed us in a direction that didn't feel good. The pain that we've had in our life is there to help us expand. And it doesn't seem that way when we're in the cause and effect world of, this happened to me, I didn't get that promotion, I feel bad, therefore I'm a victim. So therefore I'm going to have victim energy shoved in my energy body somewhere. And I've got to deal with that. If I don't deal with that victim energy, it's going to come back somewhere, somehow, for me to deal with. And that's how life gets ahead of us, is because we have all of this stuff that gets pushed down because we can't deal with it. We don't know how to deal with it. No one ever said, hey, Milijana, this is how you deal with feeling inadequate. This is how you address that issue, and this is how you come back into your soul's power. People don't teach that. I mean, we do now, but when I was growing up, when you were growing up, they didn't teach that. What they taught is, don't feel that way. That's a weak way to feel. Don't feel scared. You don't need to feel scared.
Yeah, walk it off.
Well, yeah, walk it off, shake it off, go back and punch that bully or whatever. We're taught to deny our feelings, and therefore they don't get dealt with or addressed, and therefore they get stuck in us. And over a certain period of time, it begins to be painful. And then everything we have that feels like that turns on that tuner for everything that we've ever felt that feels like that. So if our boss says, no, the spreadsheet isn't good enough, all of a sudden, everything we weren't good enough for gets energized, and we start to feel the avalanche of the pain of that not good enough thing. And if we don't know how to handle it, it starts dominating our lives. I'm not good enough. And then we bring the I'm not good enough home. And then we yell at our partner because we have I'm not good enough energized. And then we get jealous and this and that, and we start isolating from friends because we don't feel good enough. We don't want to talk to them anymore because we don't have anything good to say anymore. And we start socially isolating, and the pain mounts. Soon enough, some event happens that most people have to pay attention to. For me, the big one is breast cancer. Yours was your spinal break. Soon enough, and for many of our women, it's divorce, job loss, not getting the promotion, too many years of feeling undervalued. Some level of I can't stand the pain anymore brings us in our human nature to consider something different and to deal with the pain that's in here and to heal and to come back alive. And that's the beautiful work that we get to do when women are ready to make a massive change. Milijana, we've had a couple of really high-level, high-powered women who have lost their jobs. And for many of them, it was a shock.
Mhm.
And, we basically coined the term and work with the term called job trauma all the time, because it's a real thing. The level of shock of having one's livelihood yanked away from them for no apparent reason, even if there seems to be a reason, it's still disorienting and something that's just doesn't feel good. Most of the time, when people are put in that situation of a job loss, that job trauma usually takes them backwards in their career. 20, 30, 40, $50,000 backwards in a job because, I guess that level of job was something I couldn't handle. I don't need that level of job anymore. I'll take a lesser job. And then sometimes we see them 2 or 3 years later after that, and they've been in a lesser job and they feel stifled and that they're not contributing at the level they know they can, and they feel the pain of that. There's one woman in particular that I'm thinking about, Milijana, who we've coached recently. She's just about to graduate. Chronic anxiety disorder, sleep disorder, lost her job. And we coached her through that. We helped her heal the job trauma. We helped teach her some lessons about how to navigate and go into self-mastery. Tell me a little bit about what you learn and what you see in some of our ladies when they are in a traumatic pattern, and we help them see their way through. It's almost like they've got a black cloud kind of looking through this black cloud. What are some of the things that we do to help our ladies?
We get them out of the fight and flight and freeze, where the central nervous system is literally in shock and fried, and there was no natural relief and release and healing of what happened to them. So they're constantly reliving the same story, and they are unknowingly in a victim energy.
Yes.
And getting out of it does require, number one, willingness to be here. But what we can see is the softening of the story, literally coming down the central nervous system, so they can start seeing and feeling clear. The work that we do is reminding them of the brilliance, as they remember, like, oh yeah, I've achieved that. Oh, I've achieved that, and they start remembering, like, oh, this is who I am. We've heard so much. I'm coming back to myself.
Yes.
I'm finding myself again.
Yes.
There's so much losing themselves, whether it was through career or whether they became mothers and then they lost themselves.
Right.
Yeah. So we see a lot of that, and just the freedom, and like you said, like first time sleeping in decades, a whole night. When you're not in fight, flight, freeze anymore, you are moving into self-mastery. That is something that when you are going to a place of, okay, I am sick of my own story. I am sick of all these emotions. I am sick of all this pain and suffering. Right. It's a good place. When you get sick of it, it's like, it is anger, adrenaline, energy.
Yes.
And it's movement, it's action.
It's movement. Yes.
And show up. And I love your story with one of the previous clients where she's like, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong, that this workshop is not working. And so she started showing up. And it worked.
Yes, and the movement of anger, the movement of frustration, starts to move the energy and escalate. It's so much better than victimhood, because typically in victimhood we're in stuck energy. There's no real movement. So kind of like lighting the fire on stuck, we have to sort of almost aggravate it, like a fire that doesn't have flames. We're kind of like throw in some more fuel, some more air or newspapers or kindling on it, and then then we can have a fire that's really raging, and that's going to heat up things.
Yeah, and then you can go into ease and grace. It's really getting to a place of dancing with purpose, to masculine energy, whether it's a feminine energy, because we have so many multidimensional women that have so many talents.
Yes.
And they can be it all. You don't have to fit in a little box. You can be artistic, creative, intuitive, and a kick-ass career woman.
Yes, and have great analytical skills and have great tactical skills. And that that is actually something that we absolutely see often, is this multidimensional woman who has been told she can't be all of that. You don't fit in. We don't need all of that. And when we start to raise up the soul's energy, we don't have to fit in all of those pieces into segments. We can be all of that simultaneously without feeling like we have to be that all the time. So many of our ladies are singers or musicians.
Artists, yeah.
It's really easy to say, if you got an accounting degree and you know how to sing, well, I should get out of accounting and become a singer, because accounting hurts me so much and it's a pain and I don't like it. I'd really rather be a singer. But if we can unleash the woman who is the whole beautiful soul, she can find a great place for singing, and she can get into her own with her accounting and be that great contributor in a team and a workplace and make great money and have a great career and enjoy her singing over here, over there. And we see that so often. We actually have a woman in the workshop right now who is quite a singer, and she's delighted us a few times with some of her video clips. We don't ever, ladies and gentlemen, need to shut down any beautiful aspects of who we are. When we do, we are going to get pain. And that pain costs us. It costs us in physical health. It costs us in our soul's vibrancy. It costs us in our career. Because if our soul is shut down because we don't feel that we're supposed to be so shiny and good and talented, because that's maybe have been shut down for most of our life, if we can open that back up, then the pain doesn't have to be there to remind us, because now we're open and brilliant and shiny. When we're not open and brilliant and shiny, we will have pain. And there's a huge cost to that. Most of the women we work with, Milijana, as you know, they're either going from zero because they've lost their job back to their six-figure income, 200, 300, 400 plus income, or they're making a move, usually a $20,000 to $50,000 move, when they start feeling more awesome and really coming into their own soul's vibration and power, able to interview more powerfully, talk about themselves, really crystallize the things that they've done in their career that they can be proud of and that are going to bring them greater value in the marketplace. Now, I know in knowing you for 3.5 years, you've been able to do that with your value as a coach. You've also invested in real estate properties, and you have income coming from that. I love this whole idea of passive income. I know it's not passive income. It's something you have to maintain and work on. There's no good money that comes from a passive situation, folks. So anything you see that says passive income, it's a lie. No matter what you're gaining from income, it comes at an investment of time and effort. And the beautiful thing is, when you bring your soul's vibration up, that time and effort doesn't feel like effort at all. It feels just like who you are, and it becomes so natural. One of the fun things, and we'll wrap up this with one kind of final aspect of what is pain costing you, is when we work with our women who seem like they come back as their own Milijana, and they recognize themselves from way back when. The interesting last piece of coaching is helping them aggregate what it's like not to be in pain, not to be in suffering, not to be anxious all the time. What do they do with all of this energy now that they're not depleted at the end of the day? And there's a sort of feeling that the nervous system isn't okay with not being turned on and frantic all the time. What do I do now, Mo? I'm not in suffering and pain anymore. So is this okay? Should I be working harder, or what's going on? Talk a little bit about how the nervous system has to kind of recalibrate itself, Milijana, after we get through learning how to come back alive and when we begin to release the pain of our lives.
There is an adjustment period. Some people will call it identity crisis, but it's identity, reestablishment and becoming your true biggest self. It's like when you have a broken leg. Even when the doctor tells you like it's completely healed, there will be a slight adjustment period of you're still being cautious when you step on it.
Yeah.
Until you have like almost like evidence and evidence and evidence that this is who I am. And you'll start seeing different responses. So your reactions responses will be different when you come from a place of alignment. You know that your daily alignment and what you need to do to be in the daily alignment will just be something you look forward to, because when your day is set up with intention and purpose, and you start seeing how it goes easy, people respond differently to you. You get things done easier. Those that are not nice to the person in front of you are nice to you. Like, you get evidence after evidence after evidence that you are doing the inner work, which is then reflecting what's coming back to you. So you start getting evidence, and then one moment it clicks.
Yes.
Or you lean into it, where you're like, okay, this is my new normal.
Yes.
And it can only get better.
Yes. Our beautiful client Pearl says, yes, you become authentic, and it's the most freeing feeling in the universe.
Yes. Yes.
And when we are truly authentic, we don't have to overpower people. We don't have to feel victimized by anything. And if someone is in suffer mode around us, we don't have to take their pain on. So many women do that. And when we're authentic, feeling powerful, we don't have to be the one with all the answers in the meeting. We don't have to be the one who gets the appreciation and spotlight. It feels good when we do, and we can take it when we do, but we don't have to get it, because we're not dealing with an unmet need. And as we wrap up this topic of what's your pain costing you, most pain is coming from an unmet need, whether that be the expectations you have about life, how life should be, or whether that might be coming from what you think might be the right way for people to treat you. Whatever that unmet need is, usually that is the underlying problem that brings us pain. So if you're in pain, first of all, if it's related to who you are and how that's showing up in your career and work, we'd like to help you with that, because we're magicians at helping solve those problems. We're really good at it. And if you're in pain, you don't need to be in pain any longer. We can help take care of you in the first couple of weeks, and then we can help you up-level your beautiful career and get a beautiful new job that matches a beautiful new version of who you are. Pearl, thank you for all of your great comments. Paul is also saying moving past pain takes effort, but it is worth it. Absolutely, because you have to re-identify as a newer version of you, as a freer version, as a more authentic version, as Pearl came up and said. So when we do that, we can just live authentically, and it's not a whole lot of effort from that point. But it does take commitment to get through the other side of an identity that has felt normal. Pain feels normal for a lot of people walking on this earth, and it's not. If you don't have the money that you want, if you don't feel happy, you've got a disease. And that disease needs to be taken as seriously as any other disease, any thyroid disease, blood pressure, diabetes, broken foot, broken spine. The disease of scarcity and pain is real, and it has to be dealt with. Otherwise, what will happen is the pain will increase to a level where something really horrible will happen to get your attention, because that's how the universe is put together. Milijana, I want to thank you very much for sharing your time with me. I know it's a little bit later in Croatia, where you're calling in from. It's always a pleasure to join with you. You've been on my Unity radio show before. You'll be on shortly again. It's always a pleasure to talk about transformation, career, success, etc. with you. You're a beautiful spiritual being. You're a powerful woman. You're an authentic woman. You're a beautiful, talented coach. I love having you on my team. And all of our ladies are blessed and grateful that you're also on the team and one of the beautiful coaches helping them transform. Any parting words you have for anyone who might be in pain right now and just need to have relief?
I think this is the time. This is the time where us as women have the opportunity to be the biggest version of ourselves. It has never been safer and more welcome for us as women to step into leadership positions. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. And just remember, success is built on success. Confidence is built on confidence. Where you are right now, it might feel like, from reality check, which sometimes feels painful, to miracle creation. And we really, we know how. We know
Yeah.
how. And you, Mo, are just demonstrating it so powerfully to us as your team and to all the clients. And I'm going to say publicly, but you truly are an angel in many people's lives, because you had to go through your cancer to say yes to your soul purpose.
I did.
And everyone listening, you don't have to wait for that car accident to hit you, for that bone to break, for to get all the way down. Like this is it. I know that inside of you, if you're listening to this, watching this, that is a little thing tingling that wants more and knows it can.
Yes.
And when you have a tribe and community that uplifts you, it's much faster and more fun.
Absolutely. It really is. And now is the time. You're right. For so many, we women have finally found the path. And there's women ahead who have beaten down some of the trees in the way and have opened that up. And it's not a normal, natural thing for many women to claim their power and to be authentically all that they can be. But now is the time, ladies. Having a life of pain is a disease. Let's cure that disease, and let's get you into your authenticity, and let's get you into your power so that life can be a dream. My favorite song. My favorite song of all time. I actually did a radio show on it. Row, row, row your boat. Life is but a dream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. So, folks, if you're in pain, call us, book your clarity call, and let us sort it out, see what's going on. And if we can help you, we will. If we can't help you, we'll send you another direction, another coach, perhaps another opportunity for you to get the healing and the help that you need. Life is meant to live joyously and free and happy. So make that your purpose and make that your dream, and go and get it for yourself. Milijana, again, so great to see you. Folks, you can find me at mofaul.com or all over social media at Coach Mo Faul. And thank you, ladies, who are our clients, who we have loved working with you, who keep expanding and growing and being role models with your friends and family circles. It's always a pleasure. Motivational Monday next week, and I may see you again here live on Facebook. I come to you a couple of times a week. You got to be paying attention. Milijana, have a great night, and thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.